Too much chest or just enough?
Just enough. Come on.
Am I still in frame?
Let it
Slouched
out.
down like this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Very relaxed.
Yeah, very chill.
Welcome.
We certainly hope you all enjoy the show. They're eating the dogs.
I know. Cops doesn't start till 4. Oh!
Yeah. We got some cool cats in the house today.
Just a couple
Welcome
cool
everybody.
Hey.
Welcome everybody. Carter on the computer.
Carter on the keys. Mr. Hat tonight. Call him Big Hat. Call him Big Top.
And of course, your host, Kilo.
Repping that Tree Caballero. Tree Caballero.
We just had one person pop in and leave.
Ah, loser.
We scared him away.
Loser, get back here. Get your ass back here. Come on.
We're here on a scorcher.
Yeah, it's hot.
A scorcher of
It's
a
a-
Monday.
It's a heater out there. God was ripping us a new one today in terms of humidity and UV index.
He said, "Oh, you're cold. Oh, you've been cold."
You've been so cold. No, actually, I I had the better part of my day outside and, keep it cool, drink lots of water, hit the Gatorade pretty hard. But, I have no qualms.
Hit the Gatorade pretty. You know what I realized
What?
recently?
What'd you realize?
I can't drink Gatorade anymore or Powerade
No?
on a hot day as like a refreshing drink. Like I used to drink it like playing baseball or whatever
Yep.
in the hot sun. Can't do it anymore.
I remember one time Curtis and I were playing baseball and we had a sorry, I'm reading the comment now. We had Gatorade and Dad filled up a huge water container, the big water container you used to have,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
put Gatorade mix in it for the team. And that's all I drank the whole day, and my stomach was just killing me. And I was so thirsty, and all I wanted was some water. 'Cause I
Yeah.
was stuck
Just
drinking
Gatorade.
Yeah.
Well, that's, I definitely would agree you have to drink a lot of water too. Like,
Yeah.
I think
I don't. But the
you should
Gatorade
have-
says thirst quencher on it. Like,
I know, but it's a little bit bullshit.
Well,
It's-
if it's the powdered stuff, you can mix it right. So
yeah, the powdered
get
stuff you
mostly
can get
water.
your own measurement, but yeah, I like to have like a bottle of Gatorade to 2 bottles of water.
yeah,
Mix it in throughout my day,
Well-
and I'll go back and forth too. I'll take a hit of the Gatorade, then like if I'm thirsty, I chug the water. But if I'm chilling, I got the Gatorade, and I just take a couple hits on the Gatorade.
mm-hmm.
That's the move.
But once you get moving, you gotta hit the water.
Yeah, if you
gotta get back on the water.
if you really need to chug something, that's when you hit the water, and then the Gatorade you just hit that here and there, and gets a little extra electrolytes in you. And I actually accidentally bought the sugar-free one today, so F on that. Here I am drinking full sugar Red Bull, and then I got a sugar-free Gatorade. Like, what kind of hypocrite am I?
It's just to balance you out. Well, so what I realized is a good alternative to Gatorade is vitamin water.
Vitamin water. I
Vitamin
don't
water.
really like vitamin water, but I can see where you're coming from. It's more watered down.
It's more watery
It's,
and there's less sugar. There's definitely sugar. I don't know what's in a vitamin water, but it's definitely more refreshing than a friggin' Gatorade, especially compared to a Powerade. I was drinking a Powerade and it tasted like salt water. It was like, I felt like I was killing myself.
You could be.
do you think that
I
your
don't
buzz
know.
cut helped with the
With
cold
the-
weather? I mean, the hot weather.
Well, it
Helped
definitely.
keep you cool.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's definitely it's like so much weight off my head. Like my hair is like a wool hat, so yeah. It's
Probably even better than a wool hat because your body's like designed.
yeah. Yep. No, honestly, I'm glad I shaved my head other than the back of my neck and ears got sunburnt. Other than that, I'm glad I shaved it. I should have had my wide brim on like Carter was wearing. If I was wearing that today, I would have been fine, but I threw on the old Bucky's trucker hat for the day, and that's my daily runner right now. You notice how, like, I don't know, I assume people notice, but, like, depending on the length of my hair, I change what hats I wear. You notice that?
Yeah, well, I don't notice it particularly on you, but I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, depending on the length of my hair, different hats fit different. And so right now, my daily beater is the Bucky's trucker, Bucky's camo trucker hat.
Something that fits the small head.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it fits my small head, but it doesn't like look like a small hat on my small head. It looks proportional to my head. But more on the hair business. Has anyone seen Zach Bryan's hair transplant?
What?
You guys haven't seen this?
No.
So Zach Bryan has been
full Hollywood.
his whole career. He's been going bald really bad, really fast. And at one point, he even tweeted out. He said, "I know I'm gonna go bald, and I've made my peace with it. Every man I've ever respected has been bald." And he said something along those lines. And then he said, "My hair's gonna do the most it can while it's here." Before it's gone. Yeah, so this picture here, if you're pulling that up, Carter, that's his new hairline. This is him post-transplant.
So he went to Turkey for this? Or?
Yeah, so I follow him super closely, and I knew immediately because he was out of the country, or I don't even know where he was. I'm not even going to try and tell you I knew where he was. I didn't know where he was, but he very clearly had no hair on his head. He had been bicked. Right? He shaved his head with a razor blade, no hair on his head. And then I did not see him without a hat for a long time, like weeks, maybe even months. Like it was a long time. You did not see him without a hat on. There was not a photo, not a video, right?
He kept it locked up.
In addition to this, every time he was wearing a hat, it was like barely set on his head. Like, so it was just so barely touching it, and it was also a very tall trucker hat, so no part of it would have been touching the part of his head that he had the hair transplant. It would only touch the very back of his skull and
the
like
forehead.
the forehead, right? It didn't really actually touch the hairline anywhere. Okay, so I noticed all these things. It wasn't even a conspiracy because
you knew what was going on.
I followed him so closely that I knew his hairline had been going for a long time.
And then you snuck into his closet.
And he's such a small guy. Like, if he didn't play music, this guy would be a total bum. Like, he's a small, weird-looking guy, and he obviously has
I honestly think he looks
issues.
even weirder with the new hairline. Like,
well, I mean, you got to let it come in, but
is that a picture of him?
I don't think it looks bad. I wouldn't say he got a bad hair transplant. I think it looks fine, but. But yeah, he totally got one, and the only I wouldn't have criticized it at all if it weren't for the fact that at one point he tweeted about how he made his peace with going bald because
you can't.
I don't want to hate on it because obviously I'm pretty vain and I make I obviously just cut my hair, but
you're so vain.
Yeah, I'm always talking about my hair, so. If I had the money and I didn't have hair, would I maybe get a hair transplant? Maybe. I don't know. So I don't want to criticize that too much.
You can't dog him too bad.
But the thing is, I also don't think there's an issue if you're bald. If you don't have hair, just don't have hair. It's cool. Like if you're a guy like that's totally not a. Why is that like a dilemma for people to me? Especially him. He can grow a decent beard. You know what I mean? I think you do a beard or a mustache if you want to mess with your face. Like, that's why, can you see, I'm going to move the microphone so you can see my goatee.
Goatee.
Yep.
Oh, where is it?
Quite a little bit of a shadow there.
Oh, yeah.
Can't quite get the light
He's got a little
right on
something
your
going
face.
Basically, you won't be able to see that I have a goatee. It's just going to fuck with my tan. But, because I don't have any hair on my head, I'm messing with the hair on my face. And, I
feel really bad for that people with that disease that they can't grow any hair. No eyebrows. That's tough.
That's tough.
That's really tough.
That's tough not having eyebrows. There's actually one specific condition where you literally just don't have eyebrows. Like, other than that, you're chill, but you don't have eyebrows.
You're chilling.
I've heard of that.
That's a weird one, but yeah, you can't blame a guy for that.
Found a raccoon in the dumpster on Sunday.
Which this dumpster here?
No, this was at work. work dumpster, raccoon.
I got another message from the hair people. They're trying to get a
Oh,
hold of you
shit.
still.
Oh, no way.
Did they message
Cool.
you?
No, I don't know.
They said they sent you a message.
I'll have to look into it. Thing is, guys, if you're out there watching, I'm a very busy guy. You know, I've got a lot going on, a lot of meetings, a lot of appointments. Got to fly here, got to fly there. It's a busy lifestyle. And if I don't have time to get back to your Instagram DM, I'm sorry. But I'm actually not sorry. So I will get back to you.
He scrolls
some
on
point.
TikTok, guys. Message him on TikTok.
Don't message me. Just make a TikTok and find out how to get it on my For You page, and I might get back to
That's
you.
how you're gonna connect.
That's
with the
how.
man.
If you want to get my attention, that's how you got to do it. All right. You can't expect I'm gonna be out here. I mean, how many emails a day do you think I get? Actually, I'll
many
just derail
emails?
this because I don't really know where I was gonna go with that. I was just gonna try and goof, but just because you're making fun of my stutter, I'll tell you this: I'm working with this guy the other day roofing a house, and he has a little bit of a stutter. Okay, I like to impersonate people and do impressions of people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if I hang out with somebody for a long time, eventually I can do a decent impression of them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I'm working with this guy, and I have to make a super conscious effort to not pick up his stutter.
Because
Does that
you
make
want-
sense to you guys? No. No.
it's imitation.
It just it's something I know happens, and I've heard this is a thing that stuttering can be contagious, but I really had to think before I'm going to say
Is that
something.
like AIDS?
Whoa.
No, I don't think so. I don't know. You can look up the science behind it, but it's
No, I've experienced.
it's
this
very well
firsthand.
studied that something like a stutter or Tourette's, something of that nature, can be contagious in a weird way, social contagion type of thing.
Sexually?
Whoa.
Um,
He transmitted his stutter to you.
yeah,
Holy crap.
yeah.
That's what they call the backdoor virus.
Okay. But no. Anyway, all I'm trying to say is that I really had to think about it because I've already known that. Like
Because you let it slip, and
this
he was
isn't-
like, "What are you doing?"
No. He's aware of this phenomenon as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he deals with this on a regular basis. It's not new to him. You know what I mean? It's a common thing. But I know me personally. Anybody I hang out with, if I hang out with them for a certain amount of time, I will start to sound
Their lingo.
or talk like them in some kind of way, whether it's conscious or unconscious.
Yeah.
But I had to make a conscious effort to like think of what I'm going to say and say it clearly, because that could really mess me up, especially where I'm trying to be a broadcaster here.
It could really screw me up for a couple weeks.
Could really screw the pooch. But yeah, no, put a sweet roof up. You know me, I'm a roofer now.
Put a sweet roof up.
My
I didn't want to tear you down, but wasn't it a dugout? Wasn't a goddamn house, it was like a goddamn dugout.
Dude, this was a
And a
fucking
baseball whale.
no. This was a freaking 2-story house with a porch. This was
it might be a house for some
5-bedroom
homeless people, but
Yeah, some from time to time, not in the winter time.
Yeah, I'm basically a roofer now, so if
What
you
up?
got any leaks, you can let me know.
Roof status pro.
I went to the lake on Sunday.
Yep.
Tried to wakeboard.
How'd that
no
go?
way.
It didn't.
It didn't.
It didn't.
Yeah, I ended up drinking more lake water than anything.
Oh.
I think it was because I was getting bad information, though. I've never tried wakeboarding before, and I wasn't gonna do it.
They were like, "Come on, Carter, try it."
Yeah, they were like, well, Zach's dad did it,
Yep.
and I was like,
You're like, all right, I can do it.
well, I mean,
If the old man does it, the young buck's got to
yeah,
do it.
he was trying to get me to go. I was like, well, I guess I'll give it a try, and I think I was being fed bad information because after I never really paid attention to watching people get up on the water, but after I tried 5 times with the information they were giving me and nothing was happening,
You figured it out.
I watched them. I never got up on the water. I just gave up. The other problem too was the wakeboard was set up for a little kid. My
Feet were too close together.
No, my feet wouldn't fit in the boots.
Oh, that sucks.
So it was a little uncomfortable. So I gave up anyway.
It sucks learning to wakeboard because of the way if you fail, they have to circle a rack around.
Yeah.
Everybody's on the boat doing nothing, and they're like, "Oh, what's this?" And you feel like because you're the star out there, everybody's attention's on you. It's like you have there's no space to learn. It's like,
Well, that's the thing is I was like, that's why I didn't want to do it because I knew I had never done it before and it was going to be a suck of a time.
Shout out Hawaiian shirts.
shout out Ashlyn
Hawaiian shirt.
commenting. I told her to comment actually.
We're partying with the Hawaiian shirts tonight.
Yeah.
Technically, mine's a Cinco de Mayo shirt.
Same thing. It's
I've
actually-
never water skied either though, so.
Yeah.
What do they say? Aloha.
I actually,
shirts?
yeah, aloha shirt. I actually don't care about water sports at all, and I actively avoid them.
Well, you guys did wake surfing, right?
I've done it all. I've done it all, and I can do it
Yeah.
all. I can
done it.
single ski slalom on the lake if I wanted, but I just don't feel like it.
I don't.
So don't fucking
Zach,
ask.
you know what,
boat.
Calvin, this is what Zach says to me yesterday. He's like, I feel like Caleb is a type of person who can pretty much do anything. He just makes it work.
He just makes it work. He just does what he needs to do.
But okay, I've said
pays
this.
the bills.
Can I say something that I've said since I was young?
Mm-hmm.
And I've literally said this as a joke since I was a kid. But I would always say I'm pretty much great at everything I do, but that's because I only do the things that I'm great at. You know, and that's a joke. That's a joke I would say as a kid. But in reference to what Zach might be believing, yeah, it's because like, you know, it's not like I have like 50 bazillion hobbies or something, or like I'm doing a million different things, or like there's a pretty narrow niche of shit that I do, and have I gotten proficient at what I do? Sure, but
Well, you know what he was
I'll let
saying,
people
obviously,
think
right?
that.
Was that he was saying that if you were at a wakeboard, you'd get right up. You might not be good at wakeboarding when you're up there, but you'd get right up on it. That's what he was saying.
Well,
and some of that though is like some amount of athleticism. I think like I don't think I've ever been a great athlete, but certainly just from my years of trying to ski,
you got what is it? What is it? You're not a fine instrument, but
I'm a blunt force object. I'm not a fine-tuned instrument. I'm a blunt force object.
I've never heard that one.
You never heard that? I had a bigger bit that I was trying to put together with it, but
well, the thing I would say about that is like we got these
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect. Remember the Mass Effect Minecraft?
Yeah, I do.
Well, anyway, we got the Daymaker touring things.
Yeah.
And Caleb and I went out to try them, and like I'm trying to use them properly, take my time, and the snow wasn't like we didn't need them, but we had them, so
we wanted to play with them.
So Caleb was like, "Fuck this," and just picked up his skis and walked to the mountain, walked to the top of the mountain in his ski boots. That's the blunt force object.
That's what I'm talking about, though.
You mean you bought the Daymakers and never used them?
No,
we don't really live any place with a serious backcountry that I think the Daymaker is suitable for.
Yeah,
right?
I think
like,
you really only need them if it's like deep powder.
if it's super deep snow and it's a long hike, right?
Yeah.
This was a straight up the ski slope thing in
15 minutes
10,
max.
10 like what 5 to 8 inches of several day old melted over crusty snow.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, put your friggin'
Was it
ski
making
boots
it
on
tougher to go though?
It's just to me, it was a waste of time and energy.
It was in the scenario that we were in. It was a total waste of effort. But I was kind of mixing two stories because we did successfully test them out one day.
We did once.
And then we went back with a couple other people, and there was actually another group of
People like seriously skinning up,
like some
like
real
touring, some serious tours.
some serious schemo types.
Yeah.
And so they were like taking their time walking up the long way, and we beat them up.
Yeah, we just hammered it up whiz bang straight to the top, and
In the ski
with our
boots.
skis on our shoulder, wearing our boots.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, we're just, we're built different like that. We just,
Well, I know that when Curtis and I went to Tuckerman's, it would have been nice to have them just because it killed your back to have your skis on your back for that long. So.
Right.
Yeah, no, it definitely, for a long hike, it's worth it. And but you do have to have the right stuff, because the day makers kind of do fall apart if you're doing anything serious.
I don't want to slander these day makers, because we had V1. You know what I mean? Like they've come out with multiple iterations of these day makers since then. Like we had the original. Like I emailed back and forth with the creator of them to figure out what size of boot and what size of binding we had. You know what I mean? Like this was not.
And they're still good, but they
have their place.
They'll never be a real touring setup.
No, but I think every tool has its place, and maybe it's a gimmick to you if you're some serious touring guy. But honestly, to me, I would still attempt to use them for the situation I'm in right now. Like I'm not a huge touring guy,
And you got one set of skis.
and if I was gonna go to Tuckerman's, I'd be stupid to not bring them. I already have them, right?
Yeah.
I'd try them out, see if they do me any favors there. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna go buy a new touring setup to go there. So I think every tool has its place. Do you remember what we spent on those things? $120.
They were expensive at
I think it was 120.
I might have been double that, 240.
Yeah, I think they're like $300 now.
I think they were definitely not 300.
The new one, they have a newer model that
over
is,
200.
they have a new model that's made for touring boots. If you have a pair of touring boots,
The pin type.
yeah. So those ones might be more expensive, but I don't know. It's just
But yeah, that's a blunt force. I wanted to say though, I wanted to ask what the advice was you were getting for wakeboarding, because I did. It took me.
$280.
I don't even know. Did we spend that much?
No, it was less than that.
I was
but
gonna
it was,
say, I
I
don't
think
think
it
we
was
spent
over
that much.
200, like maybe 200 flat. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, to me, it didn't seem like it was that much money, but what do I know?
Because I did.
So you tell me how you would get up out of the water.
Well, it took me a lot of. It took me more than 5 tries. That's for sure, and it was really. It is super difficult to learn, but what I realized is you have to lay flat out, totally flat out, and you keep, like, a bad habit of mine is to keep my arms in, because that actually doesn't help. But if you have your everything out straight, so you're pinned, so when you take off, you're totally pinned with the board facing the boat.
Yeah.
And then you have to look. You're not going with the boat. You got to go 90 degrees to the boat starting out. And as soon as you look 90 degrees and they take off, you start going that way a little bit. And then by that point, there's enough force to keep you going straight with the boat.
Yeah, I mean, so what was happening for me was I was having both my feet were up like this, up in the air, and I was just getting dragged. And what they were kind of saying was, that's what they were saying was, once you start to get up, they said, keep your feet like this, keep your toes up, and once you start to get up on the water, spin the board. Well, I was just plowing this massive pile of water. I'm just laying back, and I never came up, and
That's
I'm just laying
impressive.
back, and I'm just
That's great.
hammering,
you got some strong legs.
hammering this water, and then I would get
Try
eventually
like standing up, or
eventually I would start to collapse, but he would be and it could have been that they weren't going fast enough off on the takeoff to get me up on the water fast. Whatever was happening, eventually my legs would start to collapse right before I got up on the water, and I did get up like on plane just barely twice, but by the time I was up there, I was like crunched down into a ball from plowing this huge wave.
All right,
Yeah.
here's what we'll do, Carter. We'll film this as a bit for the podcast, and if people want to place bets now, they can. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's what my advice would be if I was going to try in wakeboard. Okay,
Yeah.
I would say as soon as I can feel the water under my feet, you know what I'm saying, as if there's a floor beneath me.
Yeah.
Right. As soon as I'm moving enough to where I can feel the water underneath my feet,
Pressure.
the answer is stand on top of the water. I don't want to be skidding and laying down. The answer is, okay, now that I can feel the water beneath me, I'm going to stand on the water. And I'm not saying I've never been wakeboarding. I'm not saying I could stand up first try, but why don't we see what happens?
Yeah.
We'll get it on video. And I'm just saying, like, I've never done it, and just from watching it and what I can make of it, and I have been dragged behind a boat before on tubes and such.
See,
Did you ever do
the thing was,
kneeboard?
I think I've done a kneeboard when I was a kid. Remember Brent used to have a kneeboard?
Yeah.
I think I did a kneeboard with him.
so I done the wake surfing before with Zach, and I was trying to get up on the wakeboard just the way you get up on a surfboard, and it was very simple on the surfboard, and it could be because it's a bigger area and that surface area. But what I was watching after the fact, I watched Cameron wakeboard, and Cameron started off with his feet like parallel, so he got dragged up right in line with the boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
And had I tried that, maybe things would have been different. But the problem was I couldn't stand up because I was plowing so much water, and there was so much water coming up over the top of the board that it was just sinking me.
He started
Yeah.
drinking the lake.
Yeah, I mean, I did drink a decent amount of lake water, so.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know.
That's-
Maybe I'll have the same
Well,
experience, but
The thing that really
We'll find
changed
out.
it for me was the looking 90 degrees and not going with the boat to start, because you kind of start.
well, you must have some
come up-
like centripetal force type
yeah,
of thing.
you
It's
start
like,
kind of an arc
yeah,
that naturally stands you up instead of like going from laying down to standing up quickly.
Well, then
It's
that's
like
the
a
thing too, and I was with a bunch of people, and everybody's giving you different tips, and it's like,
you know what else made
You just
me
get
too?
frustrated and you're like, "Fuck this."
I-
well,
and-
and I didn't want to do it to start with, so
I
Yeah.
don't listen to people either. That's
It is a pain in the ass.
I think that's maybe part of my luck. Like you could tell me 100 times, 100 ways, I'll tune you right out. Whoop woo! You know, I'm not
Where's the
listening.
slide whistle?
Yeah, but
I just watched that episode of SpongeBob. Where they had the slide whistles.
yeah.
There's some good episodes of SpongeBob.
So I was doing this bit the other day because Calvin's on this SpongeBob kick, and it's because he's just a little bit younger than me and Carter. And me and Carter lived that shit. Like, we watched it when it was on air. We
I would
lived
say
it.
Calvin did too.
Yeah.
You
I
would
watched
think
it.
that, but he was
I
young.
watched
He
all
don't.
the
He don't. Well, that's why you're thinking you're having some renaissance with SpongeBob, and I'm like, I've seen it all. I watched every episode 100 fucking times. Like,
Yeah, well, okay.
I had 3 episodes on
When
a
was the
Game
last-
Boy cartridge.
When was the last time you watched SpongeBob then?
I don't know, and I don't care. Actually,
it was
I
a
do
long
know.
time
It was
ago.
It was when we were visiting Colin. Carter, you remember that?
Yeah, is it? Yeah.
Well, listen, you don't get to see every episode every day.
I'm not. You're allowed to watch it, okay? But I'm gonna be watching season 5 of Phineas and Ferb.
You're just farting on my umbrella for no reason.
Why? Well, for me personally, I already lived SpongeBob, so I'm gonna go enjoy a new, fresh batch 2025 edition of Phineas and Ferb.
Have you watched
Of
any more
woke
of it?
Phineas and Ferb. It's
Dude, Phineas and Ferb.
it's woke Ferb and Phineas. They're no longer triangle.
What?
Triangles are not woke.
Okay, well, Phineas and Ferb is a wholesome show, and it's funny.
No, I agree. I do want to watch that.
It's entertaining for the whole family.
Yeah, Caleb and I watched the first episode the other night.
I think it holds up. I think it's tried and true.
Seemed a little over the top to me. But
To me, the fun part was the addition of smartphones.
Oh,
Because
really?
in the old Phineas and Ferb, they did have cell phones, but they were very minimal use. People would call each other on a flip phone generally. Later in the show, they were more smartphone-looking devices, but people would call and text. They weren't like a big thing. They were social media in the new episode. Like Doofenshmirtz is using social media, and like to me, they made this new season with the awareness that I was going to be watching, as in a kid that grew up loving the original, as a kid who's now an adult who's going to watch this. And I guarantee you all this stuff, you could watch this with kids. I'm not saying you can't. It's going to go right over their heads. They're not going to notice it. But me, it's made for my demo, and
Just like the Minecraft movie.
Just like the Minecraft movie. I had a long conversation about how great the Minecraft movie was today. You would not believe how many times we sung la 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 lava cha 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 chicken. It's a great song though, dude. I'm so happy.
have you
Minecraft
watched it a
movie.
second time?
No, I want us to buy it on our Google Play so we own it.
Yeah, I want to watch it too.
I think we need to own it. I didn't look to
think we
see if
do
there was
as
a
well.
special edition Blu-ray I could get, but I'll
It
probably
would be
get two
cool
of
to
those.
get some sort of like.
They need to
behind the
have.
scenes-
Listen, this is a miss if they don't come out with this for DVD Blu-ray release. I want the Blu-ray Diamond edition.
Yeah. Of
Okay.
course.
I want
Or
the
Netherite edition.
Netherite edition. I want the Obsidian edition. I want the Lapis Lazuli edition. You know what edition I want? Fritted Steel. I want a 2-disc copy. I want the making of and the Minecraft movie.
Plus
one black,
Minecraft movie
one gray.
with director's notes or
Director's commentary. I would love a director's commentary. I would love a DVD like 3 DVDs in a package, okay?
extended edition.
I want the documentary of the making of. I want the interviews with the cast. I want the movie itself. I want the movie with the director's commentary. I want a documentary of the madness that went on in the theaters.
Yes.
I want that all.
Yes.
And this will be the Ender Dragon edition
Ender Dragon.
box set.
And the Wither.
You need 9 Eye of Enders to open the portal to watch it.
Oh man, you know what? Speaking of documentaries, though, you know what I just started watching?
What?
Kai, the hatchet wielding hitchhiker documentary. You remember this guy?
Yeah. I remember Kai. People say don't hitchhike. Good thing I was hitchhiking.
We pull up this.
People
can we
were in
pull up the
danger.
original Clip, Carter.
I'm doing the schmo
People were in
yoho.
danger. Smo yo. Whatever happened to them?
They're still around. They're still kicking it. Yeah.
Well,
so this guy Kai.
Anyway,
he was hitchhiking.
So I didn't
and he got-
finish. I was like halfway through, but
The documentary on him.
basically,
He's
the
like
point-
homeless and a bum.
Yeah, he was homeless and a bum and a drug addict, and everybody wanted this guy, but the only person that had his contact info was the guy who took the local news interview.
Yep.
So everybody was trying to get to him, and this guy that took this interview was the only guy that had his contact info.
So what? He
So
guy, this
later-
guy like managed him or something and
Well, for
stole
a
his
second,
money.
I didn't get that far in the documentary. I wish I knew more, but basically,
Motherfucker, I ran in, I grabbed the keys, he's sitting there like nothing even happened. And like, man, if you started driving that car around again, man, there would have been a hell of a lot of bodies around here. I hop on out, and so I grabbed the bag, I threw it over by that pole right there, and then buddy gets out, and these 2 women are trying to help him. He runs up and he grabs one of them, man. Like a guy that big can snap a woman's neck like a pencil stick. So I ran up behind him with a hatchet, smash, smash, smash. Yeah.
The lady said you saved her life.
She was the one who got grabbed by that fucker. You know what? Is cool. That guy ain't. Yeah.
straight out of Dogtown.
yeah, true. He says that in the interview. If you let go on, we'll probably get copywritten if we play the schmo.
I'm straight out
yoho.
of Dogtown, hitchhiking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, hilarious interview. But yeah,
You
so
were watching the documentary.
they were
on
trying to
it?
track this down because the same people who managed the Kardashians and created that show
We're trying to make a show with them.
were trying to put them on a show.
And what happened?
And so I haven't got that far yet in the documentary.
Well, thanks for bringing that up.
Well, I thought it was cool. Well, twist, he actually ends up murdering somebody else and
Yeah, I
goes
thought
to
he-
jail for it.
Yeah, I knew
Yeah.
you got arrested for something else.
But I don't know what that was because I didn't finish it. So
You'll
go
have
check
to get
that out
back
on
there.
Netflix.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Netflix. Cool. That's neat. I watched the Tom Segura show on Netflix, Bad Thoughts.
That was good.
Is that a special or is that a?
It's a show. It's
Super
raunch.
raunch.
It's like a sketch show. It's like a Twilight Zone, but Tom Segura's sketches. And yeah, it's super raunchy, but I think it was funny. It was yeah, you have to watch it. I don't know. I do think you
Honestly,
have to watch it.
it was a breath of fresh air to see something like that.
It was the type of thing that it was so funny to me that I'm dying laughing, but it was so foul at times that I'm like
Really uncomfortable.
I'm like I can't believe they fucking made this.
It's
Like
on Netflix.
yeah, it's on Netflix. It's like heavily. It's like a big thing. It's not like they're hiding it under the rug.
Yeah.
Tom Segura's Bad Thoughts on Netflix. Do a little promo for him. I don't know why I shouldn't do any promo for those guys. I think Bert Kreischer still owes me money from that fucking movie you put out. I bought tickets. I went to the theater, man.
Give me my money back.
I'm not getting the rebate on that popcorn. No, all seriousness, I think Bert Kreischer's movie was okay, but
I still haven't
Tom
seen it.
Segura's show on Netflix is The Balls. I think it's great.
Mhm.
I think everyone should watch it.
Definitely really good.
But Bert Kreischer's movie. We got a comment coming in
Let's
from one of our boys,
go!
TP182J. Calvin, you want to read that off?
You guys have to do some research on Shiloh Hill, the WWE guy, and use it as a topic for the next show.
Okay.
One of the way you think of his stuff with the dark web is real. It's relevant because he lives in New Hampshire. No, he's among us.
He's in the woods.
He's literally among us, dude.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've never heard of this guy, Shiloh Hill. What is
Yeah.
WWE? What's his stage name for
Shiloh.
WWE? Is it
Pull Becky out the
Not
creek with a
Triple
rope
H.
and one leg.
I know Triple H is around here somewhere.
Yeah, Hunter Hurst Helmsley. You know who that is?
Triple H.
Yeah, okay, good. I was seeing if I could tip
It's
you up.
3 H's.
I know.
Dude.
I was seeing if I could slip you. Slip you.
Yeah. TP, what's his is Shiloh Hill his WWE name or
He said to do some research between episodes, so
All
we can.
we'll hit you back.
I
on
might
that
get
one.
into that. I probably won't.
But speaking
but,
of comments, our boy Mike is gone.
He's at Philmont, right?
He's on his trip. Well, he's going to Europe first.
Oh, that's
Like,
right. I was
That's right.
wondering where he was. He's either in Europe.
Europe. And then maybe
Come
to
on,
Philmont.
Mike. Oh, we were gonna talk shit about him though.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I think it's cool that he found the channel and enjoys hanging out with us in the live stream sense, because to me that's what I want on this live stream is the same community that I'm a part of when I watch these other live streams, right? I'm not as big of a H3 fan now as I used to. I haven't watched a live in years, but there was a time where I watched every
No
single
fucking way.
video
his real name is
live.
Thunder.
That's crazy. Yeah, that Thunder Keck seems more like the stage name.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah, we'll have to look that up. Because I am a WWE fan.
Yeah, we're W. I got a Hulk Hogan shirt.
I got a Hulk Hogan
I
shirt.
got a Hulk Hogan shirt.
Did you see that Hulk Hogan's like in the hospital dying?
Oh,
for
is he?
real?
Yeah.
Come on.
you-
Why'd you
You-
say that so with a smile?
Yeah, you said that so happy.
Got him.
No, I
Is
think
he
it-
all- is he
it's
gonna be
funny.
all right?
It's funny because the guy reporting on it is Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh yeah,
If you go on his Instagram, he's like,
Bubba's
I just want to do an announcement.
I question that though. Okay,
He's been in
because
the
don't they
hospital dying
don't
for, like,
Hogan and
years.
Bubba have beef?
Yeah, but Bubba claims he doesn't have
Any beef anymore?
Yeah.
They squashed it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Bubba leak Hogan's sex tape or something?
Yeah, like on purpose. Oh no, I guess it wasn't on purpose, but he recorded him on purpose.
Some
Bubba
skeevy
the Love
business.
Sponge, infamous Florida radio DJ.
I'm trying to think
big
of.
scandal with Hulk Hogan back in the day. You got to be a real Hogan head to know any of this, but Hogan head or a Bubba fan. For whatever, I shouldn't even say for whatever reason. I think Bubba was a very popular radio DJ. He might have even been on Sirius. I'm not really sure, but oh, here we go. Here's the Bubba Army on
Put
Instagram.
in a new heart valve in Hulk Hogan today.
Nobody's reporting
That's
that there
Bubba
was
right
a
there.
new heart valve put in and there were complications to a point where they had to bring a special team in. He didn't retire quietly with his $50 million. He is traveling extensively because
Yeah. Anyway, he
Doesn't sound like Bubba doesn't have beef. What that sound like? He was going to
Oh,
rip Hogan a new one in that
maybe
clip.
this is it right
it's
here.
my understanding when this happens medically, it is what they call sometimes the kiss of death. And from a reliable source, I've been told that Hulk Hogan is on a ventilator. And I think that, listen, in the 2 people I've lost in the last 3 years, that was the kiss of death. When you put a person on a ventilator. Now, it could very well be false. He could very well have maybe been on a ventilator and he's
Oh
not
my
on one now.
Christ,
That's hilarious.
Carter! That's definitely a bit. Like Bubba's doing a bit.
It
Right?
very well could be fake.
How is that not?
I don't
him
know.
doing a radio.
I don't
bit?
know Bubba the Love Sponge very well, so I don't know
He's
what kind
got deep-rooted Hogan beef. Trust me.
well, I don't know what kind of like, what he sounds like when he's being honest. So
I just think that sounded like a bit.
yeah, it did. It was kind of funny. I've been told.
I've been
in the medical
told by a
community,
reliable source. Like
it's the kiss of death.
Yeah, you see what?
But I don't have any doubts in the world that Hogan's on his last leg. I mean, Jesus Christ.
yeah.
Thunder Keck bought boots off the dark web. It came with a video stating that if he didn't kill who the video told him to, the dark web guy would kill him.
Oh
Then
shit, that
Thunder
sounds
Heck
like
found
Black
a
Mirror.
tracker in the heel, and now he's trying to track the dark web guy down, I guess.
That's kind of sick.
Sounds like a Liam Neeson film.
The question is, though, how or why would you buy boots off the dark web?
Why are you on
Yeah.
the dark web?
Well, okay,
ever?
there's reasons. Okay, for example, turtle leather is illegal to buy. So, if you wanted turtle leather boots, that could be a reason.
Holy Christ, Calvin.
Well, it's cool stuff, dude. And
Turtle. What? Why are you doing research on turtle
Okay.
leather?
because I saw on Pawn Stars a guitar made with a sea turtle shell, and I was
Okay.
like, "That's sick as hell. Why aren't there more of these?" And it's because it's illegal.
And because they live for fucking hundreds of years. Like, you're going to go kill something that lives 2-3 times your
I'm not saying I
lifespan
would
just to make a guitar out of it? That sounds batshit, dude.
You haven't seen have you seen the guitar?
I have seen the guitar because
a
I watch
turtle
Pawn Stars on
shell.
TikTok all the time.
It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty.
You never
freaking
know
cool.
what is going to walk through those doors. Yeah, big Pawn Stars fan. I love the iCarly crossover episode.
But what if you wanted a human?
This looks like something out of the Bayou.
It makes me think of
Going down
It
the
makes me think
bayou.
of Adventure Time.
Going down the bayou.
Can't you imagine that in Adventure Time?
I can. And Adventure Time is a cartoon.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's
what about
neat.
human leather though?
So you
That'd be
can
kinda fun.
you,
Well,
but think of this.
you just expose
Think-
yourself with the what's
Think-
the notification sound?
Oh, the old person one.
Yeah, the old person.
You get the boomer noise. My phone is a total boomer phone. I've got every boomer ringtone and notification you can have. So
You know
I
what?
can't
I
even talk
almost
smack.
I almost feel worse downloading Zedge to download a different one. Like I don't know where else
There's-
you get.
yeah, there's got to be a better way to do it, right?
Well, I mean, there's like pre-downloaded ones, but
Yeah, I feel like Zedge would be a trusted app because it's been around so long.
it's been around forever.
yeah.
I used to have the Muppet shows. My themes. My
Then I feel lame for putting in that much effort. Sometimes.
Yeah, to me, I mostly have my phone on vibrate, and I just, I like to pretend like I don't care about things. Like my phone's all beat up and covered in stickers, and I like to pretend like, oh man, I'd friggin' throw this thing in a volcano and I wouldn't even care.
Yeah. You know what I found out is Rolly still has a flip phone.
Yeah, I got some
baller.
respect for the flip phone game.
He was like, this makes calls to, what did he say?
Kalamazoo,
Not New Zealand, but Australia. This makes calls to Australia.
which in his day
Yeah, that
was
was pretty
quite
sick.
fancy.
Well, I mean, think about it. It's still pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it's like, global communication is really simple and easy right now. So, like for our generation, that's like nothing.
Yeah.
Like, we've had that. Lame. More Stranger Things, please. What character is this? What character we just make?
That's hilarious. That's not a
More
character.
Kinder Egg.
More Kinder. Give me the real Kinder Egg, not the one that's separated by plastics. Come on, guys.
Hey, how about this? How about this for a rant? Put the stick back in the hoodsie cup.
But give me a wooden
took the
stick.
stick out of the hoodsie cup?
I'd
Put
kill
the
him.
stick back.
I'd kill him.
And hey, actually, I was thinking about Sky Bars the other night. Those are still around, right? Can we still get
you can
those?
still get those. You got to order them. I think.
You got to order them.
Most times. I mean,
I
some
gotta
places
get me
still-
some freaking Sky Bars, man.
I think if you go to a real candy shop, they got them.
Ooh, Sky Bar, you get that little caramel piece. You got some peanut butter. You got that chocolate bomber in there.
the double
That little
chocolate one.
that little vanilla one that's like a
the
Cadbury
marshmallow.
egg.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Give me some of that.
I like a Sky Bar, but I have to admit the chocolate is not up to par.
No, because here's the thing. I agree with you.
It
It is a lower grade of chocolate,
right,
more similar to an Easter candy.
Mm-hmm.
But it was literally like, it's something about that chocolate with those fillings
And the name, and the packaging,
and the packaging and everything together. But each of those one little flavors
yeah.
and in the pairing with that cheaper chocolate. I
True.
would not be happy if that was a Hershey's chocolate. I would not be happy if that was a Mr. Beast bar. I wanted this lower grade chocolate.
Because it goes. With
It goes with the shit in the middle. They
I'll
knew
be
what they were
honest, though,
doing.
I never liked the peanut. I'm not a fan of peanut butter and chocolate together.
Oh, the peanut butter part of the Sky Bar, Calvin. Come on.
That's
my third favorite.
I love peanuts. I love peanut butter.
Probably my second favorite.
Peanut butter, and
Caramel,
chocolate.
peanut butter, chocolate, marshmallow.
Peanut butter and chocolate. You know what I heard on the buzz this morning? Is chocolate? I mean, is peanut butter a condiment?
Is cream cheese a condiment? Tune in next week when we find out whether or not peanut butter is a
There's
condiment.
definitely a gray area between condiments and spreads.
I think I'm ready to go
dips.
home. I started watching Dax Shepard interviewing Brad Pitt, and I think I'm ready to go do that now.
Yeah, it's starting to get warm down here.
Yeah.
we were talking about something, and then I derailed it with your phone notification sound though.
Yeah, you'll have to watch it back.
Damn.
We don't
Damn,
got someone
it was
taking
definitely-
minutes. So.
It was definitely
Mike's
to
not
do
here,
with
so
the Shiloh Hill boots.
yeah, he's tracking him down. I don't. We gotta do some research in between episodes. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a
It
week.
does sound
we got
familiar, but all I can
we-
think of is Shiloh, like the dog.
Shiloh,
Shiloh.
pull Becky up the creek with a rope on one leg.
Classic.
You must have read Shiloh. Hey, shout out to anybody that had to read Shiloh out there. That's one of the few books that I read in my time. And I really tried to pretend that I hated it and didn't like it, but I ended up liking it. So
Yeah, we got 1 week here to do research to
Goodbye, old friend.
figure out the.
figure out this Boot Hill Cemetery guy.
Bid you all a very fond farewell.
All right.
Goodbye.
That went pretty well, actually.